I think I should have a little chat with Violetta. Just a little friendly chat. A very friendly chat. I like to imagine Pasha waited until she was like, Russo's not in the vicinity. Go, go, go. Quick. And she's run up and she's knocking on the door very insistently.
You'll knock on the door, and after a few moments, the door opens, and you will see Violetta. So she's not wearing what she normally see her wearing when she's out and about with Balin. She's actually in a very shiny silk robe, very shiny violet silk robe, and she's got a mug in her hand, and she's sipping what presumes to be tea, and you can smell some very fragrant incense from within. It doesn't smell like it's powerful enough that the incense is active, but maybe the incense was active earlier on and is now airing out at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, she says, Pasha, good to see you again. To what do I owe this visit?
Well, I wanted to have just a little chat with you, and Pasha's going to start trying to make her way in. She's not waiting for invitations. She's just like, let me in.
Yeah, you can go in, and again, you know what her wagon looks like inside. There's a lot of very interesting, to put it nicely, things in there.
Perfectly child-friendly magic stuff.
Yes. I wouldn't refer to this as the vegan type of magic. This is a little bit on the opposite side of the vegan magic spectrum.
This is the low-carb magic.
Pins and needles magic.
Yes.
Pasha pales a little bit, and she's just like,
Can I offer you up some tea? I just poured a little bit for myself.
No, thank you, Violetta. I just wanted to ask, and forgive me if this is rude of me, however, it concerns someone I'm rather fond of. Rousseau!
Sure. Oh, yes. What about him?
I would like to know what your intentions are, madam, towards him.
My intentions? Well, first and foremost, my intentions is to serve his child the best that I can, to make sure that he has everything that he needs to properly carry the mantle of the Garden of Fire. I feel that is something, first and foremost, is something that would be helpful to Rousseau, is his overall security and training. Number two, I suppose Rousseau has proven to be a very good companion. He seems to be very intelligent, very well spoken, and it is very apparent how much he loves his child, as I assume you definitely can appreciate as well yourself.
I absolutely do, and it is because of that reason that I am here. Rousseau is a wonderful, charming young man, and I would hate to see him get hurt. And I wish to know if you intend this to be. I saw you from Narika's caravan, had a rather good view of the little setup he created, and I just want to gauge how you see that planning out.
Well, I guess it's up to him, really. I've had romantic relationships with several people throughout my life, Pasha, and one thing I will say, if I really, really think about it, every single one of those relationships ended not by my choice, but by theirs. I've never broken up with anyone. They have always broken up with me, and more often than not, it's mainly because I think they never 100% accepted me for who I am. I am not under the illusion that I don't give off a very specific type of image, I guess, not only with what I do, but with my occupation. And that does make people very uncomfortable. I understand that. I suppose it's difficult when you meet somebody that you care about who doesn't fully understand, I guess, your belief system, or doesn't fully understand what it's like to be in a certain population that it seems like the average person would find strange, weird, archaic, or in some ways barbaric to some. I would presume that as somebody from the Kunari, you might have felt that way yourself, or would I be wrong?
I do understand where you are coming from, Violetta, and I think Pasha's posture is very much, I think it's weirdly defensive, because I know she came to this and she started, like, what are your intentions, da 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 da, but it's less attacking, and it's more like how a snake might lash out to protect its eggs. It's a lot more like, I'm defending something, don't be coming near me, otherwise me. So I think she is absolutely, she's looking Violetta up and down. She's trying to gauge where and what. And I'm going to speak very, very plainly and bluntly. I do not mean to cause you offense, but I remember that young man when he was a little boy, and I love him. And if you hurt him, you hurt me. And as I repeat, I mean no offense when I say this, but I feel I must say this. If you hurt him, I will pluck out your heart. Just wanted to get that across. I'm not saying that in a I disapprove or anything like that, but I don't want him to be hurt. Not whilst I draw breath. Does that...
I 100% understand what you are saying. It is very clear, Pasha. And if I may say, I think it speaks volumes of Rousseau as well, that he has someone like you who is so caring of him in this way. Have you told him that?
He and I met under very difficult circumstances, and I don't want him thinking that I'm trying to replace his mother. He loved her deeply, and after everything that happened, especially at the house, the Leon's house, as I said, I don't want to cause him pain. And I worry him knowing how I consider him I worry that would cause him pain.
Pasha. She sits down, and she, puts the tea that she had that she was sipping onto the table. The last person that I guess you could say I was romantically involved with was the Guardian of Earth himself, Theoben. We spent a lot of time together after the big adventure, after the breach was closed, and I made it very... Well, I'd like to believe that I made it very clear with him that I wished for our relationship to take another step forward. But I never actually said the words, "I love you," to him. Because he was still sort of thinking about Halaser, the woman that he had loved as well. And I was afraid that he would have thought that I was trying to replace her. And I purposely did not ever once tell Theoben how much I truly felt about him, because I didn't want to hurt him either. Well, he's moved on, so to speak, and that opportunity left. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that because I never communicated my true feelings with him all these years, I feel like we both missed out on something. I don't know what that something is, but I felt like there was a lost opportunity there. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, Pasha, is your reasons for not telling Russo your true feelings is understandable and admirable in many ways. But I just can't help but feeling like there's also an opportunity there for something more with your relationship with him. Take it from someone who's been there numerous times.
Your words are wise. I will be honest, I did not expect that.
When you are in the business of curses and hex magic, part of it is actually learning about people too, because it's such a drain on them. It puts such a strain on their hopes and their dreams, because it just holds them back. So you are lucky, Pasha, that you are the type of person who, I presume, normally speaks her mind without any reservation. You don't hold back, and you don't have a curse or a hex or anything upon you that is holding you back. I think that if I were you, I would take advantage of that.
Pasha, she once again kind of looks Violetta up and down, but it's a lot more, okay, I get you. And I think she says, "Thank you for the chat, Violetta. And I do hope that this time it works out for you."
She looks surprised, pleasant surprised by you saying that, and then she smiles and she says, "I hope the same for you as well."
And Pasha will leave. Yay.
Very nice.
You know, I wasn't expecting there not to be violence there. Oh. Violetta isn't what I expected. I absolutely misjudged her. She's wise. Wiser than I thought she'd be. And kinder. I think she's a good match for Russo. Now only if she could wear some brighter colours and get rid of the skeleton caravan.
Pasha's just like, the girl I approve of. Her style and the carriage. No.
Yeah. Maybe we should work on her decor. Like, maybe we should pick out something else.
Her personality's wonderful now. If only she would dress better.
Yes. So I'm gonna say that the party, including the NPCs, the party NPCs are gonna start getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that Pasha Athon has packed something for you, like a care package of sweets, and he says, for the trip ahead, I wish I could go with you, but unfortunately, my duty calls for me to be here with the animals.
That is... I'd like you to come with me too, Athon, but hopefully I can see you when I get back. Hopefully.
Of course. You keep yourself safe. I already trust you're going to keep everybody else safe, because that's just who you are. I will say, though, that I have noticed that you seem to have had a lot of thoughts in your head as of late, and I've politely tried to give you your space, but it would be nice if we did some catching up when you returned.
Yes. I think I will have much to tell you, Kadan.
Well, please do give my regards to Valor. He'll look at your crown, which I'm assuming you still have on your head, and he'll adjust it because maybe it was a little crooked, so he adjusts it a little bit. And he says, "It suits you. You look absolutely stunning in this."
Pasha smiles, and she gives him she kind of I don't know why I imagine Athon is pretty tall, so she kind of goes up on her toes and she'll give him a quick kiss, and she'll say, "I hope I look just as stunning when I return."
He will chuckle at this, and he says, "I have no doubt." Yeah, with that, he will probably give you one more kiss on the forehead.
Oh.
Given Pasha already has a relationship, I just lost what I had with Rosie, and now I just feel all alone. I'd like to think that we're gathered, getting ready to go, and I've kind of sat Balin down, okay, well, I'm away you're still gonna have to do your studies, all this other stuff, and just talking about it. And then when it gets to the end of the conversation, I'm just gonna put my hand on his shoulder. You be good for me, okay?
Okay. You promise me that you're gonna be good too for me?
Without a doubt.
Good. Because Violetta was saying some really strange things today. She said that you were very, very good.
Oh my. Now, Violetta, well, I personally take that as a compliment. I think when I get back, we need to have a talk about what we do and don't say around my 6-year-old son. This has kind of become a trend where everyone's saying stuff that they shouldn't around my boy. First, there was Daretham when he cursed in front of my son. Thankfully, Pasha covered his ears. Then Tyrion was like, "Your kid's a demon child." Then we worked that out. Then Pasha and Daretham apparently said something about goats, and Balin won't stop talking about that. And now Violetta's commenting on our night together in front of him. What the fuck? She's a good judge of character.
Character is what we're calling it now, right? Okay. Not Rousseau. He has a very fine character. Fine character.
A very large character.
Yes.
They really call her a true skilled one.
True song.
Oh god.
All right.
That might be a bridge too much.
Sorry.
All right. So back to the little child.
Yes.
So So, yeah, Balin, is going to go over to you, and he's going to give you a very big hug.
I'm gonna hug him back. I won't be longer than I have to be, and I'll be closer than you think.
Okay, Daddy. I love you.
I love you too. And then I'm just gonna give him a small kiss on the forehead, and then outside the pocket of my jacket, just make some time to have fun. I'm gonna pull up the new miniature objection.
Yeah, overruled.
Yeah, overruled.
You pull that overruled. Daddy! Where did you get this? I love it.
Miss Violetta made it for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, it just looks just like yours. And this feels a lot stronger than the old one I had.
Because it is.
Don't worry, Daddy. I'll use this to protect everybody while you're gone.
I have no doubt you will. And I'm gonna give him one last hug and then stand up. Alright, let's get this over with, guys, and I assume we're gonna do the whole ethereal
Before we'd all gather, and I'd give like eyes to everyone, and then say, "So who's gonna be steering this time?"
Well, I don't know. Depends.
Nose goes.
Anybody been to Kirkwall before?
Russo and I.
Well, best you two lead then.
I've got a map, but
I never forgot the way. Let's go.
Alright.
So Russo is going. What is it, Tommy? Hi, So which dragon does? Pick one of the dragons that you have equipped right now. Which dragon?
We got a lot.
No, wait. I just saw the handout. Ferelden Frostback. That'll be the one I pick.
All right. So the 5 of you will start to merge together and create this semi-transparent, almost ethereal-looking Ferelden Frostback, like high dragon size. And everyone in the circus is like, whoa. Oh, snap. And several of the NPCs will, like, their jaws will just drop and be like, wow. Darren says, that's something the Guardians cannot do, I will have to say.
Daretham from the head has the head move and just kind of give a dragon grin and a little chuckle as he looks down.
All right, everyone aboard, Bomb says. I beg your pardon, Nathan says. We all can ride on their dragoon form or whatever it is. So
Daretham, I imagine we set up like a big chain or something that at the very least people can hold on to. So he goes down and he'll gently get the ethereal mouth grab on and then whip the chain up so it like flies on back down the spine.
Yeah. And yeah, all of the party NPCs will very, like, cautiously and reluctantly get on board, but yeah, they will be there.
Can I just ask, how is Ignaldo reacting? How is Master Ignaldo
Oh yeah,
reacting?
Master Ignaldo is like, this would be the perfect finale. The perfect finale for our big top show. Forget the Guardians. They're old news. It's all about the Dragon Chakra avatars now.
Please give us the hour-long Ignaldo confessional, giving the full deets. We need this. The people want to know, Hark.
There we go. I always knew that recruiting that beautiful, beautiful elf of a man, Tyrion, was the most genius call I could make. I mean, the friends that he makes, it boggles my mind. All of the fantastical things that has come to our doorstep because of Tyrion. I mean, and his sphere of influence. I mean, he was able to make friends with 4 other companions who, like himself, are apparently some sort of chakra dragoon avatars that are essentially dragon hunters, fighting a whole bunch of dragons who can do amazingly powerful things, flying around, sending shields flying across the room and all of that stuff. And then they find a griffin, and then they have talking darkspawn, and then they can fuse together to create a massive effing high dragon. And yet, they insist to shackle, and they insist on holding back and not letting us include this into our shows. And I just don't understand. It is using up the very last strand of my willpower to resist the amount of. I'm just trying to spread a little bit of happiness and joy to the world. Is that such a crime? I mean, yes, it's a very lucrative endeavor, but the children, think of the children. They just don't have any appreciation for the arts. I mean, nobody nowadays truly has enough respect for the arts. It is a tragically dying cultural remnant of our society. Just give me something. Give me a tiny little something that I could just stick on to the end of the finale of our performance. That's all I ask. I hardly even show up in this entire campaign. Give me something.
Well, at least if this hero business doesn't pan out, we can always go back to the circus.
I mean, true.
Party trick.
We couldn't save the day, but we can entertain people.
I mean, that's true, yes.
So, you guys will, as a unit, kick off, and the Ferelden Frostback will soar through the air at blinding speed. Super fast speed, and that's gonna take the NPCs by surprise. They're like, whoa, how fast exactly are we going? Is this safe? I don't know. And while you're in your form, you all can communicate with each other telepathically, in this dragon form. So unless you guys are gonna say anything to each other, I'm going to just presume that you guys will make it over to Kirkwall.
I'd say for the sake of time, get to Kirkwall.
We've
Okay.
enough time yapping.
Now, the dragon is not invisible, so realistically, you guys will probably land further away
We'll go
from the city.
a few miles outside, so that way we'd be at most like a bird speck in the distance, and then walk up. So we're maybe an hour out of the city or something.
Okay, cool. That's fine. So if you want, we can just fast forward to the point where you reach the gates of Kirkwall. So,
What about Balm?
well, what party members are you taking with you?
Not Balm.
No, not Balm.
I'm thinking you'll only take 2
Nathan.
probably party
Yeah.
members with you.
At least I think you might know Kirkwall.
Nathan should go to Kirkwall, definitely. And
I was gonna say, if we're here to help Leon out with his blood mage thing, then maybe we should bring people who are gonna be sympathetic towards Leon
right.
doing blood mage.
True.
I would
Shit.
think Darren.
So Darren, probably, she wouldn't mind. She's.
Are we locking in Nathan and Darren?
I mean, Nathan is not a blood magic fan, so.
We can distract him with Pasha.
At the same time, we haven't done anything with Nathan
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
True.
A while,
so-
that's why it's just Nathan.
Yeah,
No,
Nathan, Darren. We'll deal with it.
Okay,
deal with the issues.
that's fine. I guess while when you're on your way there, Nathan will also mention. He says, "I'm wondering how much Kirkwall has changed since I lived there as a kid."
I have no doubt I won't recognize it either, Nathan.
Just to give everybody some back information. So as you know, Kirkwall is known as the City of Chains. Now, Maximilian was the Viscount of Kirkwall for a number of years, and he did make a few changes with Kirkwall so that it was no longer as corrupt as you probably found it to be in Dragon Age 2, the game Dragon Age 2. But, as you know, Maximilian is very much about law and order, and so he still maintained a lot of strictness, abiding the rules and the laws of the land, which means that the Circle of Magi, for example, he didn't really let up on the reins there. The conditions are not inhumane, but they're still strict. So it's a little like militaristic. So I don't know if that would mix well with Leon's personality, for example. And there definitely seems to be still a very good presence of Templars in the city, especially since Cerberus is now the new Viscount. And Cerberus, he is a fair Viscount. It seems like the public generally approves. Like, he has a very decent approval rating. But just like Maximilian, he's also very law and order as well. And like I said, there definitely seems to be more of a Templar presence here than there are in most other cities. So, I'm going to say that you guys will enter, and what do you do from there?
I got my hood up. For the rest of this, it's I don't know how, I forgot how elves are treated in Kirkwall, but I remember they're not
great.
Yeah, so I got my hood up. I'm keeping everything, and I say, well, let's get to finding out where we need to go.
Oh, home sweet home.
I'd like to visit a tavern, because things may be learned, and also I'm thirsty. He gives Russo like a look.
Okay, I suppose we can go to a tavern. Does anyone else have any other stops they need to make?
Not really. Tyrion's looking around. Tyrion's looking like he looks like he's a little bit like slouched forward, as if like he's not happy here. Those places reminding me of Minratos.
Nathan will put a hand on your shoulder. It's all right, Tyrion. I got you.
Yeah. Well. Anyway. Any local taverns in? We can get some info.
Depends how inconspicuous you want to be.
Daretham just kind of looks at the Darkspawn and the Blood Mage and the Elf. Probably relatively inconspicuous.
I'd recommend alienage then.
Well, lead the way, then, Rousseau, Darren says.
I'd like to hang back a little bit with Rousseau and say, hey, can I have some book time while we're here? He hides it in the bag.
Okay. Does he hand him Mr. Bunn as well, or is Mr. Bunn staying with
If he wants
Rousseau?
Mr. Bunn, he can have Mr. Bunn.
No, he does not want Mr. Bunn. You can hear Pyrus say.
It's a good luck charm.
No, lies.
Here's Mr. Bunn, Leon.
You can't even. I was a good boy down there. I was a good boy.
He's gonna feed him like a page. Just give him a really nice piece of parchment.
Am I a gerbil to you now?
I just thought it'd be a nice treat. Is there something else you'd like?
Treat? Is that what I have been turned into? I was once your grand teacher, and now I have been minimized into a mere pet.
Well, isn't it nice for pupils to give their teachers gifts?
Yes, but this suspiciously feels like a very lowly, pity pettiness of a gift.
You know, for being over a multi-century-year-old book that has wealth and information beyond all of our possible minds, it really does surprise me just how much he acts like a spoiled little 4-year-old. Is that odd? Am I the only one noticing this? That Pyrus just seems to have a very childish attitude about everything.
We've been in the woods for like a few months. You know, it's a little hard to find like this quality of parchment.
Well, I will say that the Laurier's pack is a lot more organized than yours.
Cries and student.
Haha! Hurts, doesn't it? Hurts, doesn't it, to hear the truth, Leon?
Well, I can try to get you a nice, better, I guess, bookcase? A case for books?
Bookcase? Are you going to be lugging around a giant bookcase everywhere you go? You're going to have to do a lot more physical training with Rousseau for that.
I think it'd be nice to have like a nice little box you could place you in. It'd be nice, you know, special box.
Now that sounds like a thing. Handcrafted, hand-carved. Yes, something that is befitting of someone of my stature. Yes, I think a special box would do quite nicely.
Okay, we will discuss it when we have a little bit more time.
Well, hurry up then. Mush, boy, mush.
He sort of pats the bag and quietly continues on.
Bruce just kind of strokes his hair. To the alienage it is.
And I'll just say that as we're kind of walking, Darren definitely walks a little bit closer to Darren than he normally would. He's not like holding hands or anything, unless Darren would reach out, then he certainly would. But otherwise, he's walking side by side.
She would.
She would? Okay, then yeah, he would go ahead and hold her hand.
Darren just looks at the raised eyebrow and he's just gonna say, "Alright, looks like chosen's chosen."
Don't leave me with Tumble. Just don't leave me with Tumble, is what he's saying.
Oh God, it's like Terrence playing a dating sim and he's got the bad end. You ended up with Tumble.
Yes,
No, he ended up with no one, which is honestly a decent end.
Hey, don't diss Tumble like that, Callista. He's got the stones,
Anyway.
okay?
He's got the stones.
Anyway.
So you get over to the alienage. I'm sure that this place is pretty surreal to you, Rousseau. A lot of the alienage burned down, and so you see some new buildings, and the spot in the center of the alienage where the tree used to be has now been replaced by a rather sad-looking sapling-ish kind of tree. So hopefully, eventually, it'll turn into a grand, tree as it was before. But right now, it's just kind of depressingly sad. And not even in its state, it doesn't seem like it's been well kept, unfortunately.
They waited over 16 years to replace the tree.
Damn. Was it burned down?
Tell me, Dartham, was it burned down?
Right. Yeah. Hope I didn't do too much damage.
As you all look over, Dartham is kind of just standing a little still. He stopped a bit suddenly behind, though nobody noticed, probably except for Darren, because she would have noticed his hand tighten, not painfully, but more uncomfortable, as his eyes just are locking straight to where the tree is, his vision filled with fire. But I imagine Darren would reach up a hand on his shoulder, maybe snap him out of it. And he would just kind of take a second, take a few breaths. I was much more proficient with fire back then.
You guys go ahead to the tavern there. I'm gonna take a sec. I was just gonna say I'm gonna go to the tree and like give it a little bit of water as I say a prayer in Elven for it.
I actually think Daretham would give like a quick kiss to Darren as she walks off, and we'll go up with Rousseau and just silently with him just do the same.
Yeah. We'll do. I would like to roleplay something with you guys by the tree,
Okay.
so we'll get to you. But let me get to the tavern first. So the rest of you will go over to the alienage tavern. It's it's not as nice as a normal tavern would be because the alienage is pretty much it's slummish, it's poor. But the people inside the alienage seem to be in relatively high spirits. There's a bard. She's not really like dressed in fancy schmancy clothes. It seems to be like a local of an elven bard, a local who is, she's singing a very simple but upbeat tune. I would like for Leon to roll me a perception spot, please.
When we enter, Tyrion's gonna drop the hood for now while he's here.
I got a 15.
So, Leon, you're going to notice an elf. Normally, this elf would not really stand out to anyone because she seems to be, the way she's dressed, the way that she's carrying herself, she seems to blend in very well with the rest of the clientele. But something does catch your eye. There appears to be a pin on her, which is in the shape of a crow.
Well, Leon's mind is like, do I want Andrea to listen in on this conversation? And then while I'm debating this, can I use a blood magic check to see, like, who has the faint smell of blood, or who has somewhat, been in contact with blood magic recently?
In this room, you mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
16 with 2 stunt points?
You don't sense anyone has been in contact with blood magic recently.
Okay.
It feels clean in here.
Well, I guess we gotta start somewhere. And he orders like a juice for himself and pulls up next to her.
Yeah, you order juice. The bartender actually looks at you funny, and he says, "We don't normally get outsiders here. What's your game, boy?"
Oh, I'm just a visiting scholar. I'm just passing through mostly.
We're newcomers, don't worry. We're just around here, visiting the place.
He looks at you, looks at Leon in particular up and down, and he says, "You from the circle?"
Well, not this one, more of Orlais. I'm mostly just doing research in the forests around here.
But you are a mage.
Yeah.
He says that out loud, and all of the patrons, like in the room, start to turn their head towards you, and it just gets a little uncomfortable.
Oh dear.
That there is a human mage in an alienage tavern.
Leon, do you remember where we are? The first words you say to a bartender is that you are a scholar? Might as well draw a target on your back with the words, "Hello, my name is Leon Paz, and I'm a mage." Then you'll be dragged away from us and be thrown to gallows. Next time, go for a long-distance traveler. Works in every tavern. Usually. He's just gonna put his hand on Leon's shoulder. He's just gonna go up to the bartender. We're just here looking around and all that. We're just visitors, that's all.
You're with him? He asks you.
He gives a slight nod. Yes, I am.
You just make sure that he keeps himself out of trouble.
No worries, no worries. He won't cause any trouble as long as he doesn't do anything stupid. I look over at Leon. I give him like kind of a slight, glare of don't do anything stupid.
He gives the most innocent-looking smile.
And I'm going to say, I'll order just a male dope, please.
He'll reluctantly take your money, but money is money, so he'll take it, and then he'll give you guys your beverages of choice.
He's gonna give Tyrion a look of thanks, and then hard steel look, and pop over to the lady and go, hey, it's been. I think we have a mutual friend.
Really? She looks at you like, I've never seen you in my life. Why are you talking to me? She gives you that kind of a look.
He just starts playing with a silver in his hand. I'm a little new around here. I was wondering if I could. He slowly passes the silver. If I could maybe learn a few things about around here.
Mm-hmm. She thinks for a moment and very casually, again, without drawing any attention, she will casually take the silver and put it into her pocket. And then she says, well, I mean, that depends. There's a lot of things. This city holds a lot of secrets. What specifically are you trying to discover?
Well, I'm wondering if, there's anyone around here who keeps to the old ways. Hands over another silver.
The old ways? What do you mean by that?
This place used to be more, filled with blood.
I can probably tell you that I wouldn't be surprised if there's numerous people who would fill that description. You're going to have to be a little more specific. Do you have a name?
They go by Dark Oak.
That certainly doesn't sound very common of a name. Well, hopefully, you will find the answers that you seek, she says. And with that, she sort of downs the drink that she has, puts it on the table. She puts a couple of copper pieces onto the table.
Before she leaves, I go out to shake her hand. If you do find anything, let me know. And he's got 5 silver palmed in his hand.
She'll give you a shake. You're going to be around the alienage?
I do keep unusual company.
I see. Well, good luck, she says, and she will start to leave.
Wow, that was a lot of money I just gave to the crow. Hopefully, I don't get gypped. But, we'll see. Well, at least I know their boss. So, if things do go down, I can always talk to their manager. I'm sure Posh will have something to say about that. She always has good advice on how to talk to people, yes.
Let's go over to Dartham and Rousseau. So Rousseau, I believe, has tried to find something to water the tree with.
Not saying anything, but he is helping pour water, basically just silently assisting Rousseau, assuming Rousseau accepts.
He doesn't acknowledge you there, but he doesn't stop you. I was on those steps 17 years ago. I just wish they would have paid a little bit more respect.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's not like you voluntarily did it.
I know. Still, I do feel it. And also I'm sorry they didn't care enough to try again. I know it's not much. It's not redemption. But it's what I can do to help. forward. That's all I've got now. Just keep stepping forward.
Well, given it's Kirkwall, I'm not really surprised.
I haven't heard things myself.
The worst part is I know they wouldn't welcome me back here, given how I am. Heck, I've only seen one other Kosov here ever, and I was just a boy. I really have no words for this.
And he just kind of, he doesn't say anything. I mean, he would basically say me neither, but he'll just put a hand on Russo's shoulder, just like here, like holding on the side, and just sit next to him.
I'm going to say that about an hour passes. Leon, you will hear the sound of a crow cawing from the outside.
He downs his juice and goes, "That's my cue," and slowly walks out. He gives a look to Tyrion because he needs a chauffeur in this area.
I'm going to kind of look at him and I'm going to put my finger up for a moment. Like, one moment. Connect the bartender. Hey, bartender.
Yeah.
Any elves? I have a very curious question. Any elves around here has been quite sick lately?
Sick?
Hmm.
Maybe a cold or two here and there, but I wouldn't say anything really serious, if that's what you're asking.
Yes, the reason I ask is I'm actually a wandering doctor. Helping around whenever I can.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm sure people would appreciate that if you want to, take a residence here. We'd love to have a new doctor living here in the alienage.
Unfortunately, residency is not what I seek. But if ever I can, I want to at least do some good while I'm around. This place seems rough.
Yeah. Well, some good around here would be a good change,
Yeah.
he says.
Well, I'm just gonna stand up, kind of dull, drinks the ale. If there are people around, I will do my best to help out. So
He'll nod, but then he'll get back to doing
Yeah.
serving other people.
I'm just gonna follow. I'm gonna follow Leon outside.
Leon, you'll go outside and you will find a crow perched on one of the roofs of the houses. And the crow seems to have something attached to its feet.
I'm gonna pull out a bit of dried ration and an arm. Try to coax the crow.
Roll me an animal handling.
Oh no. And you lose the crow.
Communication.
And you lose the crow and all the information. There we go.
It's a 14?
Nice. Okay. The crow will fly towards you and perch itself onto your arm and start to eat the piece of ration. There's like a case that appears to be something that you would put a letter inside of, dangling from its claws.
Gonna take the little satchel, see what's written.
As he takes, I'm just gonna say, "You in bed with the crows now, Leon?"
Well, we can't all choose what bed we sleep in.
I think we can, but sure.
Gonna pet the crow while he's reading the letter.
The letter has a name at the very top, and it says Gamlin Amel.
Gamblin Amel.
Apparently, Dark Oak was what his gambling buddies called him. Apparently had a bit of a gambling addiction back in the day. But his gambling buddies called him Dark Oak because he had the complexion of an oak tree. It wasn't his choice, but there you go.
I see Callista like, ooh, I recognize this name.
I think many people recognize this name.
Gambler.
He
Very, very
your buddy uncle in DA2.
He's Mr. I lost my whole fortune, save me now, please, from DA2.
Because he gambled it away.
I know, Tira.
But there's also an address as well.
Neat. Gonna feed the crow a little bit more, because, you know, who wouldn't want a crow? And just, you know, pet it a little bit more. Put, like, is it big enough for a silver to fit in there?
Yeah.
I put a silver in there for their trouble, because, you know, the best way to make friends is with money.
Yeah. The crow will linger just for a little bit, and then it will fly off out of sight.
Ah,
You got the information?
yep, got an address too. That was very efficient.
Quick.
A little too quick. We were just barely enough time to drink. Either they know a little bit more than they're saying, or, well, the 7 silver I just spent is a lot of money.
Well, knowing this place, it seems money's hard to come by sometimes. But anyway, let's gather up everyone and I guess make our way. Kinda said I'm leaving this early, would love to help some people.
We can come back. We've got to find a place to stay anyway.
Yeah. Alright, let's gather up everyone.
Man, the name is Gamblin' Mel, and he has a gambling addiction? Wow. Weren't his parents just cursing him? You know, gambling. You know, that's... Maybe the name sort of informs the behavior.
You can gather everybody together, and Nathan's gonna say, so, I've been getting a lot of weird looks here in the alienage. I probably am a little bit overdressed here.
You should dress less.
He looks at you really oddly. Tyrion, excuse me?
As in, dress less nobly, but that's my 2 cents.
Oh, right. It looks at you kind of like, that was strange. Okay.
3 people in relationships just eye each other.
Hashtag Tyrathan. Okay. All right. Yeah, so Nathan then goes back and says, so what's the plan?
Well, I think I found who I want to talk to. I've got an address. But that's about it.
Where specifically?
I give the address and the name.
Russo and Pasha will know that this address is in the slums area of the city, of the town. For humans, like, obviously the alienage is in a lower case than this area, but it's still definitely like the poor area of the city.
So lore-wise, is in the Lower Town district still? Because there's Undertown, Lower
Yeah.
Town, and High Town.
Yeah, right. Wherever Gamlin lived, he still lives in the same place.
He
as he
actually
did in the
lived
game.
pretty close to the alienage, actually.
He lived pretty close to the alienage
Okay.
then.
I think that Nathan and myself draw a little too much attention. Tyrion, could you by chance pop into a clothing store and get us some cloaks?
Sure, I'll do that.
Just be quick. I don't want to get recognized.
Maybe
No
make
worries.
that 3 cloaks.
How about just make your
Fine.
just fine anyway in the Lower Town. I wouldn't be long. I won't be long. Darren, you want to come with me so just in case you cover me?
Sounds good to me. If you want, I can do most of the talking. I'm good at haggling, especially when it comes to clothes.
Sure, if you want. You definitely have the cloak to prove that.
She will give a quick nod to Daretham before she leaves with Tyrion.
I'll nod back, smile, and give her hand a squeeze.
I'm just going to do a very quick roleplay where Darren, on the way there, she talks to Tyrion and says, So Tyrion, you and Tumble, huh? And she kind of like elbows you with you.
Everyone's finding that out, aren't they?
He seems to be visiting you quite often lately, coming into your wagon quite often.
Look, he's my patient. I'm just trying to help him out.
I just couldn't help but notice that every time he left your cabin, he was pulling his pants up or adjusting his fly. I'm just saying,
Darren.
Tyrion.
He's just gonna say, look, I cannot say what my patient has problems. I have to protect my patient's, secrecy, so I cannot reveal anything.
Right. Well, so that's okay. You'll reveal everything to Tumble. I understand. You're patient.
And how about you? How are you getting along with Deritim? Seems to be quite close.
Oh, are you all of a sudden interested about Darethim and I?
Well, I mean, eye-catching. Let's just say that.
Oh, well, Darethim's doing quite well, I would say. I heard that he was able to resolve a few things when you all were in the deep roads.
Well, he did, yes. He did have a couple of issues with a particular other person. I don't know if you noticed, he's a little bit red on his cheek.
I mean, red is not a bad color.
True.
It goes well with the rest of my outfit.
True. True. This. I just hope you two will get along well.
Her tone suddenly changes to a more serious tone. She actually immediately changed the subject, and she says, Tyrion, I heard that you were planning on making your way to Tevinter sooner rather than later.
It seems that way. As you know, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of things are pointing to my master again. It seems it's a solution. I can't keep running. I already ran from you. Tried.
Do you think, not that I in any way am trying to keep you from helping me resolve my mission, but do you believe it's wise to go there before you have completed your own mission?
I do not. Well, my personal mission is him. So really, I believe both of ours are aligned. And if I can do some good, I can at least help someone out.
What would you do if you go there and you discover something that you didn't expect?
He's quiet for a bit. There's a pause and a hesitation. I have to be very specific, but if we're saying in the case of Amarin, if he's suddenly a good person, I wouldn't. I told this to many people. He does the things he did. I can't let him go.
She will nod, and she is about to say something, but then you realize you're finally at the merchant, and she will immediately change her tone again and just flash bat her eyes at the merchant, who happens to be male. And you guys will be able to very easily acquire some cloaks for like a silver for 2 cloaks.
I'll pay for that. So yeah, and as we leave and say, you are pretty good with that merchant, I have to say, a definite haggler.
She just shakes her head and she says, well, in my line of work, you kind of have to know how people operate. You have to know how to manipulate them. It makes it a lot easier.
Seems that.
And you, Tyrion, if you don't mind me saying, you are too easy to manipulate.
He gives her like a blink, and a slight death stare says, "Well, you definitely had that experience yourself, so I would clap if I can." Last time that happened, though, I was tied up, so yeah.
Like I said, I'm good at what I do.
Well, let's bring these two close to the two people who don't look roguish enough.
You will eventually get back to the group, and I guess the people who are a little bit less conspicuous will be able to hide themselves in their cloaks.
I just throw a cloak to Leon and Nathan.
Meanwhile, Pasha in her sari just being like, I don't hide.
Yeah, there you go. You guys will make your way over to, like, Gamlin's. And on the way, Pasha and Rousseau, you will pass by the square where you last saw Rousseau's mom. Her final resting, well, the place where she gave her last breath. You will pass by it.
Rousseau just kind of stops and stills himself and looks in that direction, then just leans his head down. You always think you're past it, but you're not.
Pasha is very gently just gonna put her hand on his arm and just, I don't think she says anything, but it's just like the thing of like, I'm here if you need me, that kind of thing.
I'm sort of imagining Tyrion was a little bit ahead, so he doesn't know. Like, do you two stop behind? And he just kind of waits, looks behind, and he's just gonna wait.
He'd also see, like, past. Darethim has also stopped similarly and is leaning onto Darren a little bit more so.
So, yeah, you will reach Gamlin's house. Maybe there are some kids running around in the street, like, playing. Maybe some of them have, like, some chalk and they're, like, doing whatever a medieval version of hopscotch is of some sort out in the street. Yeah, you're by the door, the front door. What do you guys do?
This is going to be, interesting conversation. I don't know if you all want to be a part of it.
I think we kind of have to be, Leon.
Okay.
I'd like to see what this is all about, Nathan says.
Well, I guess this is last chance of backing out. But here we go. He knocks on the door.
You knock on the door. There's no answer immediately. I would say like a good 15 seconds pass. What do you do after 15 seconds?
I'm going to say, Gamblin Amel. I'm here on business of the Faust House.
You say that out loud, and the door will start to. You can hear behind that some keys might be jangling or something along those lines, like he's unbolting something. And then this elderly man, opens the door. It swings open, and he kind of looks at all of you, surprised, and said, What is the meaning of this? Who are all of you? I don't know any of you.
Hello, my name is Leon Faust. These are some of my traveling companions, and I think you knew my parents.
He thinks for a moment. Leon Faust. David and Clara's child?
Yep, yeah. They said that, you would have some information for me.
Come inside, he says, and he'll usher everybody in. You'll come in, and his house, isn't the best furnished. There's a little bit of clutter around. I wouldn't say that it's like nasty, but it's disorderly, and you might see like a few like pictures, just a couple of pictures hanging on the wall of what you presume to be members of his family. Out of character, there's one of Leandra, his sister, and various other things. But He says, I'd offer you something to drink, but I'm afraid I haven't really gone grocery shopping recently.
There's no need.
Wow. You really are a spitting image of your parents, aren't you?
That's what I'm told.
He then looks towards Nathan's direction and he says, Prince Nathan? And Prince Nathan looks surprised and says, yes, sorry, I don't think we've ever met. You and I have never officially met, but I've seen you around whenever your father comes to visit the city. I think I've seen you with him and Sir Barris at least once or twice in the last couple of years. I see. Well, we apologize for intruding and for coming unnoticed, but as you probably presume, we are very interested if you had any information for us. Well, Clara and David, they were rather pleasant, a very pleasant couple, and the last I saw you, Leon, you were just a little baby. I don't know if you were even quite 2 years old yet, if I remember correctly. Somewhere between 1 and 2, I think. He goes over and he goes into his bedroom. He leaves for a moment, and then after a few minutes he emerges from it, and he's holding what looks like to be a small metal box of some sort with a keyhole in it, and he actually takes out a key to the box. And he says, I was given strict orders by Clara and David to keep this safe until they returned or their son came looking for it. They made me swear not to open it myself, so I didn't.
He's slightly shaking his hand as he reaches for it. I thank you for keeping it safe all this time.
I'm very curious to find out finally what's in it myself.
He's about to put the key in when he realizes I should check for traps. And can I do a small investigation?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
16 for perception.
Yeah. So you believe, yes, that this box is trapped. And it is trapped with blood magic. So the only way you can open this without triggering the trap is to do a blood magic check with actual blood.
He looks at Rousseau with the look.
Does anyone have any reservations about Leon doing this to get his heirloom?
I do, Nathan says, but I have a feeling I'm probably going to be outvoted.
Leon has the biggest puppy dog eyes you could imagine.
I guess roll a persuasion? That would be a persuasion for Leon? Or communication, honestly.
Communication, they fall on the same line.
Yeah, okay, communication, persuasion. Alright, so I think that's at least certainly enough for Nathan to not argue further than what he's already said.
If you believe it's the only way we can open it, go ahead.
He also looks at Pasha with a more forlorn look.
Pasha just looks at him. What are you going to do, Leon?
And Gamblin looks puzzled, like he doesn't know what you guys are talking about.
I need this.
Well, go ahead and unlock it then, Gamblin says. I've been waiting many, many years to find out.
Leon, do you know for certain that it's gonna activate if you open it with the actual key?
You remember in my house when you tried to, well,
Well, yeah, but that was me with forcefully.
yeah, I think I know how to open it, but he looks at Gamblin. Do you know what my parents were?
I heard that they were war heroes. I think that your father was a medic and your his wife was a soldier.
Yes, I want to remember them as that as well. And then
Yeah.
with
Can you give me and Nathan a tour of the rest of your house?
Are you asking Gamlin that?
Yeah.
I suppose my house isn't that large. But it's a very odd request when I'm here trying to find out what's finally in this box.
We'll get back to that. I'm just curious.
Roll a persuasion.
+2.
Yeah. Do I get the plus
Plus
two?
2. Yeah,
Okay, so that's
you do.
17.
This session and next session, 16 and 17, you get the
Yeah,
+2.
this session and next session you have +2 bonus. Alright. Gamlin will be like, alright. As long as well, by the time I get back, that box is open, I'll know what's in it.
Apologies again. It's been so long since I've been in Kirkwall. I'm sentimental.
You used to live in Kirkwall?
Yes, I grew up in the Alien Age. I was Lyra's boy.
I unfortunately I don't know really anyone from the Alien Age.
You might have seen me and my brother fishing at the docks.
Perhaps. All right, well, I'll give you a quick tour, and he'll take Nathan and Rousseau out of the room.
one question I do have is, would I know that what this trap does? For example, does it destroy the contents of the box?